Lovely Libra. Time to unlearn those old rules that you were taught to believe in so you can finally go out and discover your own truth. What's that going to look like for you this week? Let's find out as we explore your horoscope. This video is a forecast for your sun, moon, and rising sign. Do check out all three videos because they will all give you some information about what is coming up in the week ahead for you. They're going to tell you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. I'm Kesenya, and welcome to the Astro News and Weather for the first week of July 2026. And don't forget, my friends, this is tropical Vedic astrology, not sidereal astrology. Do look it up if you need to know the difference. And yes, I am a real person, not AI. So this week we are looking at the 4th of July. Happy anniversary to the USA. On the 4th of July, it's a biggie. Gotta say, get ready with your fireworks celebrations. It could really all go off in a very literal sense of the word. Mars will conjunct Uranus on the 4th of July. Last time they were conjunct, it was on top of the head of the Gorgon Algol, the fixed star, and now it's square to the nodes of the moon. Oh, yikes. Get ready, here we go. This is when the volcano explodes, literally and figuratively. You know, we can expect large-scale Earth events when these two planets, Mars and Uranus, come together, and we can expect big rumbles to be felt in our own life as well. Forewarned, forearmed, my friends. But in the positive, this is the energy to use to break out of limiting situations in your life. If you're hungered for change, if you're longing for excitement to spice up your life like a Spice Girl, it's now coming in by the truckload. Taking a risk might have a great appeal for you at this time, but be forewarned, it really isn't the wisest time to jump in boots and all, even if you want to. By all means, follow your passions, follow your desires, but with a healthy dose of sensibility, moderation, self-control, and groundedness, my friends. As some have said, there is a narrow path between recklessness and opportunity at this time. So what we can do is direct this energy to its best advantage by creating change in our own life of our own volition. And that way we reduce the risk of unexpected events coming in and shocking the life out of us at this time, okay? So what could we do? We could change our doona cover. We could change our route to work, go a way we've never gone before. We change what we eat for breakfast. Just doing those little things in our everyday life to change things completely could spare ourselves the rug being pulled out from under us in big ways. Forewarned, forearmed, use that piece of advice to your best advantage, my friends. But also you can embrace your crazy now under this energy. Why not? It's the 4th of July. Get wild with your clothing choices. Hello. Experiment with your look. Get a little kinky in the bedroom, you know. It's all good, man, when these two tango like they do this week. Now, firstly, about the conjunction of Mars and Uranus, which occurs every 2 years. This is not a completely unexpected energy. It does happen regularly. Those who follow astrology closely know that Mars and Uranus together bring these impactful Earth events that I spoke about, not least of which is volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. These are powerful times. Now, of course, there are other astronomical and astrological alignments that can trigger Earth events. This isn't the only one, but it's pretty dependable every 2 years. Where it's going to happen on the Earth, though, is anybody's guess, really. As above, so below. What is the symbology of Mars, Uranus, and wildcard Earth events that we can apply to our lives? Let's list a few. Surprises, shocks, breaking out, breaking free, restlessness, agitation, fast changes, not slow, just blink of an eye kind of changes in life, erratic energy, feeling forceful or aggressive, more intensity than we can actually control with this energy, spontaneous, rash, impulsive, rebellious, explosive. These are all words that correlate to this energy. Fights, accidents, bluntness, insensitivity. one or more of these things may be what is manifesting in your life because of the Mars-Uranus conjunction. And what about the Mars skipped step that is forming? We've already had the skipped step with Uranus a couple of weeks ago. Now, here we go with the Mars skipped step. Check out the video for the Uranus skip step energy if you need to. It still applies. It's still in action. But let's take a look at Mars now. There is a critical lesson or action that you've been repeatedly avoiding that this square to the nodes by Mars is going to force you to look at. And that might mean having to face a personal block with your courage, with your boundaries, with self-assertion. There might be an intense underlying feeling that you're experiencing now of being stuck and a sense of urgency that you can't quite put your finger on. Like, I know I need to change. I know I want to change. How do I do it? This can be very, very much at the surface now, and it can lead to irritability if that energy isn't channeled constructively. There's a deep questioning that we may have of our own desires at this time too. We may oscillate between feeling intensely driven to pursue a goal and feeling entirely paralyzed because, well, what if this, what if that? We doubt. There can be heightened potential for power struggles, arguments, confrontations as we try to assert our independence individually and sometimes as a collective as well against the external limitations that want to hold us back. It is a fractious energy. There might be a tendency to take sudden reactive actions out of frustration that can temporarily derail your intended life path, where you want to end up, because you react just like knee-jerk kind of kickback that really gets you off the track. This energy does serve as a powerful catalyst as well. If we choose to consciously take action at this time, this aspect, if we're wise about our action, can give us the grit that we need to break free from old karmic loops and stagnant patterns that have just got to go. So it is uncomfortable, this week's energy. The events triggered by this square act as a cosmic alignment check, like we're bringing our car in for it to check its oil. Well, that's what this universe is doing. This universal energy is doing to our journey. Ultimately, it could push us back onto our true evolutionary path now. So, what can we expect with these wild energies unfolding this week individually? Let's check it out now as we look at the forecast for all signs. Libra, the 9th house is where we reach for meaning through philosophy or higher education or travel, through our beliefs, be they religious beliefs or otherwise, through the law and the big picture patterns that give our lives a sense of purpose and direction. It's also the house where we can overdo things, where we can tip into excess, including the excess of holding too rigidly to a belief system. We become dogmatic. It's not that this house is a house of clinging, but if we refuse to let go, it is our undoing when it comes to beliefs and worldview. So how are we going to reach for meaning this week? Uranus and Mars squaring the nodes here. They're going to blow open the intellectual side of who you are. They're going to bust out that spiritual ceiling so that you can connect fully with the divine. But it could look like, it's going to pull the rug out from under you. Like it's going to radically shake your beliefs, your philosophy. It's going to radically shake your lifestyle and your purpose and meaning and dharma. What is it going to do for you? Well, it could look like a sudden legal matter that comes to a conclusion now. Yay, I know many of you out there are looking forward to that happening. It could look like an immigration or a visa development for Libran people, in the positive or the negative. It's likely to be very karmic if it is. It can also look like a fated encounter with some kind of guru or inspirational figure or somebody that you've put up on a pedestal in life in some way. It also might look like an unexpected long-distance opportunity or an opportunity that comes to you, a good fortune, good luck, good blessing, good karma that comes when you're far away from home, when you're traveling, when you're long distance away. This could be, or any of these things I've just described, could be the external triggers that change how we see the world and how the world feels to us. And I will say that for Libran people, this is likely to be, out of all the signs, one of the most blessed experiences, because we've got Uranus conjunct Mars trining your rising sign, if that's what you're here for, Libra rising, or your moon or your sun. It's making a beautiful trine, and that brings with it blessing. So the ninth house is a house of good karma, and I think the whole way you perceive life, the whole way you approach life is likely to go through a massive change. But the internal shift that happens will then, as within so without, beget the external changes. It brings them about. The change is going to happen firstly with how you perceive the world, how you trust the divine, how you relate to the universe. That changes first, and then the external changes as well. And it's going to allow you to break free from all the other ninth house things or ways of doing the ninth house that didn't serve you. The dogmas, the borrowed truths that weren't your own, the ideologies, the religious frameworks, the philosophical worldviews that you absorbed rather than chose. Let me give you an example. For example, if you have a poverty mentality, well, that's a belief system that you have aligned yourself with. And here it comes Uranus and Mars, kaboom, exploding into the ninth house, busting apart that poverty mindset mentality that now shapes your external reality into something better, more wonderful, brighter, and more beautiful. That's an example. There's many mindsets that we have. There's many thinking roads we go down. What is it for you that is reaching its shifting energy now? Radically shifting energy. The nodes are going to make this experience very, very karmic, a really dharmic, meaning your life purpose turning point. What you believe now absolutely shapes your life purpose. And something in that area needs a radical update. And that's why the universe is here doing this work. So it's going to feel like a crisis of faith, but on the other side of it is something far more valuable. A relationship with true knowledge, true wisdom, true understanding that is genuinely and personally yours, and it changes everything about the direction your life is taking. That's something to be celebrated. Now, Libra, if you are curious to understand how this particular transit is affecting you more deeply at a personal level, as well as all the other transits coming for you in the year ahead, why not order a Transiting Planets report from Guiding Star Astrology for only $18? What could be more perfect?